Good evening, I'm Shanice Hopkins.
And I'm Bailey Williams. Welcome to U Central's exclusive coverage of the Oklahoma City bombing and memorial.
It's been 29 years since a truck bomb exploded in the front of Alfred P. Murrah Federal Building in downtown Oklahoma City, killing 168 men, women, and children. Now, after nearly 30 years, Oklahomans are still remembering it like it was yesterday. U Central's Mark Lowe reports from the Oklahoma City National Memorial, and we must warn you, some of these images you are about to see are graphic. Viewer discretion is advised.
April 19, 1995, a date that sits heavy in the heart of many Oklahomans, and now 29 years later, hundreds gather here between the gates of time, the reflection pool, and the survivor tree to look back at a scar that spans nearly 3 decades old.
Side of the federal building has been blown off.
We've got a lot of children right over here at the YMCA also. I've got 6 to 7 people down.
For many Oklahomans, the sights and sounds of the ruined Alfred P. Murrah Federal Building that was targeted as an act of terrorism is ingrained in their memories. That day, as thick black smoke rose into the Oklahoma sky, the Oklahoma Standard shined bright through first responders, survivors, Good Samaritans, all Oklahomans. Bonds were formed in the ashes, and now 29 years later, those who were there that spring day return to remember those who couldn't.
It's about bringing a community together and coming to remember those who were killed, those who survived, and those changed forever. But it really is what we're doing, is bringing people together to remember what happened here. For the survivors, it's about coming together and being with friends and family. And for the first responders and police and fire, that's something they should have never had to ever do in their work in Oklahoma City. And it's about teaching the impact of violence and making sure people understand the senselessness of it.
That violence attacked the heart of Oklahoma City, leaving a scar that the whole world could see through their TV screens, newspapers, and magazines. However, over time, scars heal, and instead of trying to pave over the tragedy, the city embraced it. And since then, people from around the world have come to the hallowed ground downtown to pay their respects.
Out of this tragedy, the city and the state has grown, it's flourished. And I can't think of a better way to honor the memory of my aunt and all the others by remembering the positives, that we are really closer than we are separate.
For the victims, their families, and those changed forever, standing side by side after such a horrific attack shows the world that Oklahomans are one. The unity between all who were affected is still strong after all these years, and they are always willing to tell their story of trial, tribulation, and perseverance.
We must each be ambassadors of kindness, peace, love, and understanding, emissaries of better conversations. We must be willing and able to challenge words of dehumanization, words that cast fellow Americans as enemies. The path to violence is paved with such words, and I ask you to step into and repair the breach.
For it's through the breach that violence once reared its ugly head at Oklahoma City 29 years ago that caused an event that millions will remember forever. And now, nearly 30 years later, Oklahoma City is still moving on, and every year takes a day to remember April 19th. And just a few feet away from me, written on the wall, is the words of those victims and their families. We search for the truth. We seek justice. The courts require it. The victims cry for it, and God demands it. From the beating heart of downtown Oklahoma City, I'm Mark Lowe, U Central News.
Thanks, Mark. During the chaos of the bombing, one witness stood on the grounds behind the lens, capturing the unfolding story. In an interview with Shanice Hopkins, he shares his firsthand account of the tragedy and its aftermath.
I'm here with Chris Cook, a former journalist from News 9. Now, Chris Cook was a photographer and covered the OKC bombing and the Timothy McVeigh trial. Now, could you tell me, what is the importance of having a photographer during a tragedy like so?
You need people to document the event. For a variety of reasons, for the general public knowledge, maybe for reference later for law enforcement or whatever, but all events, especially that magnitude, you need documentation.
Right. Now, you were on the grounds at the time. Did you feel pressure knowing that all of America was watching what you guys were putting out there?
No.
No?
Because you just do your job, right? I mean, whether no one's watching or whether the world is watching, I had to do what I needed to do to get the images that would tell the story later.
Right. And so because it's I can only imagine it's a high emotional type of deal when you're out there and you're seeing people that are injured and hurt. How did you separate doing your job and your emotions? Because you're not only looking at it through your eyes, but you're also quite literally looking at it through a lens. So did you kind of have to like distance yourself in order to keep going out there?
Yeah, so there's a term called distancing, and back then the viewfinders were black and white. And so you could look in the viewfinder and it kind of distanced from the actual event because it doesn't look real anymore because it's black
Right.
and white. And so I'm a fairly emotional guy, and so at the time you're caught up in the moment,
Yeah.
right? You're just doing what you do, and it was later on when you had a chance to catch your breath when you kind of had the emotional breakdowns of, my God, what did we just see?
Okay, that's right. That makes sense, I think. And I guess just my final question would just be, do you believe that OKC covered the bombing well? Not even from just like a news standpoint, but do you think that they handled the situation well, or do you think that there are certain aspects where we could have came together a little bit more?
No, what? Yes, not come together. No, but I feel like from law enforcement to the general public, from the media to everybody involved, Oklahoma City taught the world how to react to a tragedy because it never happened in America like that before. Certainly, there were natural disasters, but as far as tragedy goes, it's called the Oklahoma Standard, and it's
Right.
called that for a reason because we said it. And as far as that goes, I couldn't be more proud.
Right. All right. Well, that's all we have today. I seriously appreciate you for coming and letting me
Sure.
talk down with you.
My pleasure.
To this day, the impact made on the first responders has been profound and life-altering. Perla Tovar had the opportunity to speak with Jack Poe, head chief of chaplain for the OKC Police Department during the bombing. What you're about to hear is heart-touching and the footage capturing the moments when these brave individuals emerged as heroes in our communities. And we must warn you that this footage you are about to see is graphic in nature. Parental discretion is advised.
Thank you, Perla. The aftermath of the explosion led to immediate questions to be answered. This landed all hands on deck amongst investigators. U Central's Hannah Wager reports.
Side of the federal building has been blown off.
Holy cow.
When thinking about those who responded on April 19, 1995, we often think of firefighters, police officers, and emergency responders, but a large group of unsung heroes also responded that day with a different goal in mind.
I was a special agent bomb technician. I'd touched base with the office and they said the instructions were go do whatever it is you do because this type of thing had not happened before.
Barry Black was one of many investigators from various agencies to show up, and they all wanted to solve the same questions. What happened and why?
The blast damage itself, there was a large crater, a 32-foot crater in the street, which was a pretty big clue, right? And just the pattern of damage was significant and appeared to be from a vehicle-borne IED. Other than the first World Trade Center attack, which was really a much smaller attack,